All right, we're having some problems here on the FGC and NBC. You're not going to get to see me today because I can't get this fucking web camera to work on this new computer anymore. And even giving this microphone to work is not going good, to be honest with you. So yeah, I'm back from Japan. I had to come back home early because I guess if anyone actually follows me, I ended up losing $3,000 the first month of Japan due to bad luck. So I just couldn't afford to finish the trip. But that's the way this year has gone. Legendary bad luck, dude. So what am I going to talk about today? I want to talk about the history of Karnov's revenge in America, dude. And I want to talk about that you are a product of your own surroundings, a victim of your own surroundings, right? Like the inevitably, right? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You become exactly what you surround yourself with, right? You know, many times at least, right? And this is a perfect example of this, right? Because again, I saw this Jackie Ryder dude, right? And I saw that this dude is just continuing to associate with all these dudes who lie about me, right? And I eventually told the dude, you know what, dude? You don't need to ever message me again. Thanks for supporting me before, but dude, you've become two-faced. You don't need to ever fucking message me again. And he was mad and got salty. He was like, oh, I've donated to you before. And I'm like, yo, bro. And it's like, just like I've told anybody and people that watch the videos, thank you to anyone that has donated to me throughout the years. But you know what you could do instead of donating to me? No one needs to donate to me. If you just called out the people who lie about me, that would actually help the channel, help what I've done, right? And you know, so I saw him posting this stuff, and you can go look at all these discords and everything. Dudes that just lie about me constantly. And this dude has the audacity to say that I was banned from everything. Although he was saying, yeah, you know, he was saying I was banned because I was being mean. Apparently, I was being mean by calling out people who lie about me. Clayton Chapman is mean, the same guy who has hung out with homeless people in the bathroom, helping them. Clayton Chapman, the same guy that has been dying in a hospital and still has helped the fighting game community. Who would you fucking help people while you're dying? You probably wouldn't, dude. Come on. I'm mean. Are you serious? I guess, and he tried to say the reason I was banned was because I used the word rape. And you can see what a bitch this guy is now for saying, sorry for using that word. Oh, wow, bitch. If you recall, and you can go back and look, actually what happened was a bunch of these losers were talking about the game and they had no idea what the fuck they were talking about. Like, oh, Ryoko gets beat so bad here, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you guys have no idea what you're talking about. Stop acting like this character gets raped here when you don't even know what the fuck you're talking about, right? And I've said many times before, there's actually a weird kind of coping mechanism in games. Sometimes people will purposely pick a character that they think sucks so they have an excuse when they lose. And I'm always like, dude, Ryoko is not that bad right there. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And so people are like, oh my God, you know what you're talking about? She's the worst, blah, blah, blah. How dare you use the word rape? You hate transgender people. And I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? And they started making up all these lies about me. And so I'm like, oh, whoa, rape, 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 rape. You don't like the word rape, but you will lie about me and say all this kind of stuff. And I got banned, right? And actually, if you recall, the whole reason they actually banned me legitimately is because they were mad they couldn't fucking beat me. Because if you recall, I played the game for the first time in years and I got second in a tournament. The first time playing the game in years. And then I went on that 3 or 4 month win streak and nobody could beat me. And so they had to come up with an excuse to get me beat, which is even funnier because they used that excuse that I used the word rape. But if you go look at the Discord, as I've showed, just a few months after that, the Korean guy that they love agreed with me that Ryoko is not that bad. And then they agreed with the Korean guy. Isn't that amazing? But I just think it's funny. I was looking at this. It's like, wow, I just want to see what an emphasis, what a statement it was to ban Clayton, considering he's a well-established army of drones and fanatics. Many other servers would have let him stay. BBH, he lives for YouTube drama and nobody should engage it. Oh, BBH, what a fucking idiot. You mean the same guy that complains, like as you can see here, that these tournaments they shouldn't count because I played under a fake name? Listen, BBH, we can call this guy out right here, dude. Someone should go ask this guy for his ID. BBH literally is probably pushing 50 years old. He might even be in his 50s now. BBH, if you go look him up, and it's not hard to see, BBH is a known complainer whenever he loses. I'm sure if you've actually followed games, he's very fucking old, dude. He was old when I was a kid and I got into video games. The dude has always been a known complainer. You can go look him up. Every other minute he's complaining if he loses a match and he's like, oh, sorry for rage quitting there, blah, blah, blah. That's the kind of guy this is, right? Let me tell you some other stories about BBH, right? BBH, and this isn't to say he's the most terrible player ever. He's a good player in Karnov's Revenge, I guess, right? Listen, when I first started playing Karnov's Revenge, BBH was considered one of the best, if not the best there was, right? But people weren't really playing the game, right? Besides BBH, around that time, there was also guys we're talking about. I'm going into like sort of the history of Karnov's Revenge here as well. There were guys like Pignuts that was considered good, who also went under the name 409. Guys like Nocturnal, and then some guys like Crossed started playing as well. And then, of course, I started playing. You know what I mean? Like I said, within 2 weeks, I was already competing against all these guys that were considered the best, right? And then within a few months, I was considered the best there was, period. The best in the world. They made a 2chan thread about me. They started posting all my fucking videos on, that Nico Doga, right? Whatever the fuck it was called, right? BBH, and you can go look this up. Magically, once I was considered the best there was, BBH, and you can go look it up. Why is there no mention of BBH ever playing the game online while I was considered the best? Isn't that weird? Once other people started becoming considered good and BBH was not the god of the game, because unfortunately for him, he's one of those examples of, he's an old school dude and he's played a lot of different video games. He found a game that not a lot of other people were playing, right? And so once he started playing, it's like, wow, someone actually knows what to do a little bit in this game. He was considered a god. But once other people that are actually not complete scrub-a-dubs started playing the game and he could not have automatic wins, he no longer wanted to play. And his excuse was always like, oh, it's lagging too much. It's doing this. I can't play anymore. Yet, I will tell you, other people would tell me, guess what? He would play, just not online. You know what I mean? Not online if I was there. Now, I used to try to give the guy an excuse, right? You know what I mean? Because I know it does lag sometimes, and even I've told the story that, you know what I mean? The whole reason that I actually stopped even playing online for games like Super Turbo, Karnov's Revenge, Street Fighter Alpha, blah, 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 is because once I got that new computer, whatever year it was, I don't know, maybe it was like 2012, 2013. Maybe it was around 2013. What was it? I forget, right? No, I couldn't get the game to work properly on GGPO and Supercade and Fightcade and all this kind of stuff. And I'm not the only one. If you look back at that time, when they just updated to Windows 8 and all this kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Because there used to be Windows Vista, all that kind of stuff. The game worked fine for me. You know what I mean? Like I said, the Japanese used to rage quit on me. Koreans, doesn't matter. No one could fucking beat me. It's one of the reasons I had to make fake names, because I would just randomly sign on and I was beating people so bad. I had to make fake names or else no one would even play me, because no one could touch me, right? You know what I mean? I forgot to mention Mike Boy. Mike Boy also started playing the game and he was doing good too, but you know what I mean? He was considered a good player, but um, no one could beat me in the game, right? And then what was it? Windows 8 came out, and I just couldn't get the game to work. Like, I went from being able to do all this combo video stuff and all this stuff that people said was not possible to, you know what I mean, versus the Japanese 200 plus ping to, the game would lag and like 30 ping, 40 ping. You know what I mean? It's like, oh God, I can't fucking do anything. And so that's just why I stopped, right? It's not like I hate the game or whatever, you know what I mean? It was just kind of like, oh, I can't play. And that was one of the reasons, and I got other things in life. I'm not going to, fight to play. So I tried to give the guy an excuse. And I even tried to be the guy's friend at one point. And I've told the story. And it's like I said, it's not actually new, because he's a known fucking complainer, dude. He's the one that's the huge complainer. And you can go look it up. Look up how many times he has to like go back and apologize for raging on somebody for losing, right? That's just his fucking, personality, dude. That's like who he is. So, you know, Who the fuck is calling me? Um, I told the story. What was it? Like I had tried to talk to that guy, twice. It was whatever it was when he had like quotation marks stopped playing. When in reality, I think it was Portland Drama. Does anyone remember? I don't know if Portland Drama plays anymore. If he's even, I want to say it was Portland Drama, or maybe somebody else was telling me like, oh, he was actually still playing BBH, but BBH, he just won't play online anymore with me or anybody else because it's going to lag too much, right? Um, he was like, I'm still playing him. Oh, so I was saying that, I tried to ask him twice to play games and he fucking raged on me for even having the audacity to ask him to still play games with him, basically. And I was just like, dude, I tried to be nice to you, but you're a dude. Do you think I'm gonna dick suck you for you to play me when I'm considered the best in the world? You fucking 50-year-old fucking freak. You're a fucking idiot. And I was like, okay, I'm never gonna fucking talk to this motherfucker again. Yeah, I mean that was really a story. And you can tell this guy, he lives for YouTube drama and nobody should engage it. While this guy complains that tournaments that I'm at don't count if I enter under a fake name, even when I haven't played the game in years. You know what I mean? He's the one that's like pushing 50, if not in his 50s already, talking to a bunch of kids lying about other people, saying, I live for YouTube drama when. Can someone show me all the videos where I ever called out any of these liars before I found out Buttmonger was actually bragging how lying about me made him money? Again, I've told that story so many times, I didn't realize that people even believed it. You know what I mean? Until I saw people were actually bragging how it made them money, I was like, I guess I better, you know, start calling these people out. So, anyway, yeah, live for YouTube drama, right, dude? I play video games, what, a few times a year, maybe if that. Karnov's Revenge, like I said, haven't played in a fucking year. Haven't played it in a year since I'm fucking beating everybody, and you guys had to get me blocked because you couldn't fucking beat me. You know what I mean? And like I said, maybe one day I'll lose, but the only reason people even want me to play again is because they want a chance to beat me. Do you realize how stupid that is? You want a chance to beat someone that doesn't even play the game seriously? That plays on broken controllers? You know what I mean? How many fucking chances? When Clayton wins, it never counts, right? I just think it's fun. It's like, oh, and it was for the greater good. Just doing that alone was the ultimate proof to me that the FHD community is for the people. You mean banning the guy that basically, you know, taught you guys how to play in a sense, right? And I say that because I want you to go, it's even on the wiki. Go look at the wiki. Go look at the fucking tier list. Do you think it's a fucking coincidence that Mizuguchi was considered in the bottom half of the tier list? All these tier lists before late 2000. You know what I mean? Because I got that, I started playing sometime, actually, it was around 2008, 2009, whatever it was. And I randomly played on and off for a few years, right? Online, whatever it was, right? Do you think it's a coincidence that all the tier lists before then, Mizuguchi was considered a bottom half of the tier character list? Do you think it's a coincidence that after me, Clayton Chapman, started playing, within 2 weeks, I was already competing against all these guys that were considered, the best at the game. And then within a few months, I'm considered the best in the world. Do you think it's a coincidence that then Mizuguchi was considered a better character? Do you think it's a coincidence that the tier list that I wrote right when I started playing the game, when I instantly was like, this is probably what the game actually is? Do you think that that is actually more so than now a more generally accepted tier list for the game? Do you think that's a coincidence that that just happened exactly when I started playing? Hell, if anything, people are continuing to put Mizuguchi up a little bit higher. You know what I mean? Do you think that's a coincidence that that happened once I played and once I showed that all these things that people said would never happen in real matches that are just combo videos, and I showed I could fucking do it? Because I said the story before. When I started playing, the only time anyone would ever go for a Mizuguchi loop or whatever was when the person was dizzy. Before me, no footage exists whatsoever of anyone. And even when I played, no one ever aimed for dizzy spots with Mizuguchi and showed that it was possible. No one ever hit fucking hurricane kick links off random hits like I did. No one ever fucking did it. If anything, you guys should feel lucky that I was ever a part of your community from the sidelines because guess what? Most of the common accepted knowledge of how the game works is now because of me, because I showed it was possible. Now, that's not to say people didn't think Ray or Zazzy was good or anything like that beforehand, but the more generalized tier list, who do you think that it's from? It's from me. Also, I gotta love that they apparently accept that fucking freak Vicky Viper, whatever. Like Vicky Viper should be allowed in any fucking community. I've already showed before that fucking idiot. Do we need to go show that idiot again? How that idiot was apparently going around, and I posted it before, saying that I was getting. I think they said I was getting ass blasted, and I lost to all these people in Guilty Gear. All her friends, he, she, whatever the fuck they think they are now. That I was losing to all their friends and I got ass blasted. I just think I think they said ass blasted, right? And when in reality I had beaten all their friends 50 to nothing each time. And even Chrono admitted that once I posted that. Do you think that's a coincidence that this person who is fucking obsessed with me when I didn't even know they fucking existed and has been going around lying about me for years on the internet is a fucking fraud? Anyway, that's a little Karnov's revenge history in America. Like I said, there was a time that Lord BBH, and I'm sure he's still considered good, and from what I understand, he's still considered competent in the game of Karnov's revenge. There was a time that yes, he was considered one of the best, if not the best. But then once other people started playing, like Pignuts 409 is the names he went under, Nocturnal, that kind of thing, Crossed, all those kind of guys. And then once I started playing and I was considered the best in the fucking world, once I learned the game, guess what? BBH all of a sudden, he didn't want to play anymore when he wasn't considered the best. He's a guy that plays video games non-stop, dude. Just like all these other motherfuckers, dude. I can go years without playing a game. The only reason these guys ever even want me for a chance to play is so they can finally have a chance of beating me. And I just gave them a fucking chance a year ago. And they couldn't fucking do it. I got second in a tournament playing the game for the first time in years. So mad, oh, that tournament's fake because he's under a sock account. You couldn't fucking beat me in years? You're probably not as good as you think you are. And then I still was on there for another 3, 4 months, whatever it was. And guess what? I'm still destroying people. Not practicing, barely playing, old fucking busted up controllers. What's your excuse? You're fucking 50 years old. You've been playing, you were fucking old when I was a kid. You do nothing but play video games. The only one that cares about drama is you. There's some Karnov's Revenge history for you guys. Oh, and I guess I should say, you know what I mean? Of course, back in the day, I'm not sure how much it's considered now, but there's always like, these South American countries, everyone's always like, oh man, there's always some crazy Brazilian or some South American that's good at one of these old fucking games. You know what I mean? There is, of course, that kind of stigma as well. And, I can't tell you how many times they used to accuse me of cheating to beat them because they're like, wow, no one could do that. You must be cheating, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, give me a fucking break, dude. Come on. Anyway, remember if you like the videos, like, substitute, comment, share, support the channel if you want. I appreciate it. Thanks.